So the real value here, in a way, is the collective effort. Because remember, you're voting for a tax that's going to be imposed on everyone, as opposed to just deciding to spend your own $10 however you wish. I'm looking for you to value it, but the thing you should be comparing it against is how happy you would be if you spent it, and however else you would spend it if you didn't have your taxes raised. Catch it, yeah. Oh yeah, let's do it one at a time. Yeah, let's do it one at a time. We'll consider them in isolation. That's a good question. There is actually, it's funny with the story I read. Some of them are not Indian, because they make stockpiles of this stuff, and then well, this is on solid ground. It's not. It might be on a float. I mean, Antarctica is a continent. It's not just a hunk of ice like the North polarized. Yeah. Okay. Well, yes. Brian. Where does it go if it's not here? Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. So one could make a case. I'm not going to even address that here, but one could make a case that Antarctica is the perfect place for a large dump. That's okay. All right. So let's go ahead and proceed to our balloting here. So who would be willing to vote for a proposition raising the taxes of all Californians by $1 in order to fund a cleanup of Antarctic waste dumps? Okay, so 6. Okay, 8. 22. In the 7th row, can you guys give me a count? Wait, how many are in your row? Actually, I can count myself. 3, 4, 5, 40, 40, 42. Okay, I think I got 53 there. Okay, same question, $10. 34. Okay, $20. 15 of you. $50. 100. Okay. Very good. I got one more for you. This one's top. Sorry. Yes.
Well, isn't it kind of like hard to say because Californians
yeah. This is. I mean, we're perfectly capable of passing that proposition. It might make more sense to make it a federal tax or something like that, or some other thing. But California has a well-developed mechanism for passing these propositions, and I want to keep it commensurate with the other questions. Okay. One final example. This one's topical and I think interesting. So this is actually an image from a satellite photo taken last week. So NASA has an orbiter going around the moon right now. They lowered its orbit last week, so we can take some really high-resolution photos. And I don't know if I was hoping you could see this better than maybe you can, but one thing you can see here, you can see little stuff left over from the Apollo 17 mission in this picture. So here's where the lander was, for example. And here are tracks from the little lunar rover, and there's some other tracks left over from the astronauts walking around, picking up dirt. So I'm not sure what year Apollo 17 was. It was one of the later missions, the early 70s. So these tracks have been there for like 40 years. I mean, there's no atmosphere to speak of on the moon, so they're undisturbed. And this area in general is referred to as one of the Apollo heritage sites. So it's a little piece of history, man walking on the moon, driving around in the moon buggies, and so on. And some people would like to see this preserved. It's preserved excellently right now. But has anyone heard of the Google X Lunar X Prize? So somebody describe that. Okay, so Brian's got it. What's that?
Basically, a prize has been put up to get the private sector to get into space race, and whoever can get it first gets the prize.
That's the basic idea. So there's 20. So whatever private firm or individual can first send a robot to land on the moon and travel 500 meters, I think it is, gets $20 million as a prize. That surely wouldn't cover the cost of the expedition, so it really is kind of bragging rights, but still. And that's fine and interesting. There's some other clauses, and one of the clauses is you get a bonus of $4 million if you can send your little rover to go take pictures of the Apollo sites. So people who would like to preserve these footprints and stuff, in perpetuity and not have them tromped on by little robot tracks, object to that. And they don't want the Apollo heritage sites messed up. And there were calls originally for Google and Ansari, who's doing the thing to make rules so you couldn't go close to the things. Those guys raised their hands and said, no, you got to legislate that somehow. That's a matter for international treaty. Okay, so let's suppose that we had the power somehow, that California had the power to do this. Maybe we do, since Google's located here. How much would you be willing to pay in order to guarantee the preservation of the tracks at the Apollo 17 heritage site? Okay, so to vote for the same thing, vote for a proposition, raising your taxes by $1 to preserve this site. Okay, so how many people would you want to pay? You guys are all too young. You don't remember Neil Armstrong. I'm capable of getting nostalgic about that stuff. So. Nobody's willing to pay $1 to preserve this. Okay. Good. Okay, so we have a few back here. I think I can count. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 people are willing to pay $1. Okay, is anyone willing to pay $10? Okay, 1. Are you willing to pay $20? No, that's it. Okay. All right. So here's the sort of mode we can use to try to elicit some values. And so if you folks were representative of California, which you're not, but we can imagine arranging things so you were, we could write down the demand curves for these different things and work out what our priorities ought to be in terms of environmental preservation of these resources. Okay. So let me keep going and talk about a little bit. I want to relate this back to indirect utility again. Yeah. So there's a. Actually, I think I gave a reference to this in an earlier lecture. There's a. So early contingent valuation studies tended to elicit values like that. So how much are you willing to pay to preserve the moon tracks? And that turned out to be a really noisy way in surveys to get good elicitations of value. And it seems like the problem was exactly that people were thinking about, well, gee, if I contribute $1, that's not going to buy very much preservation. That was one issue. Anyway, so there was actually a lot of work done on this in the 90s. A lot of it was related to litigation and the widespread use of these methods to value the environmental damage associated with the Exxon Valdez disaster. So there was a presidential commission that looked into this. There were a bunch of papers written. I'm not an expert on contingent valuation, but there's a lot of work on this subject. And that idea, which seems obvious, doesn't work very well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to relate this kind of questions you've been answering yourself back to indirect utilities here. So the idea is this. We set this up by posing it as a discrete problem. It's not how much would you be willing to pay, which is the question you'd have us ask, but would you be willing to vote, or would you vote for a proposition to raise your taxes by this much versus not at all? So it's a discrete choice that we're asking you to make when we're posing the question this way. So here's how we can do it. We want to set things up by comparing indirect utility functions, just the same way we did before. The only catch is that, so in the locational problem, we had different values of P and Y, depending on city or country in that example. Here we've got a couple different things. I'm going to assume here that the prices are the same, that the prices we face don't depend on whether we vote to preserve the Apollo Heritage Site, for example, but that your income is different because you have to pay the tax. So let's let tau be the tax we're talking about. And also, this is supposed to be the value of Z. So let's just say that the amount of Z you get from preserving the Apollo site is 2 if it's preserved, 1 if robot tracks crisscross it. And so what we can do then is write down the indirect utility function with the larger amenity associated with there being pristine astronaut tracks versus only 1 if they're crisscrossed by robots, but there's less income left over if you're having to pay for this kind of preservation. Okay. And so we can use this equality, and this thing's here, just labels. This bottom line is the utility you get if the proposition fails. If the hypothetical proposition were to fail, this would be the utility you get if the hypothetical proposition were to pass. So you have to pay taxes, that's bad, but you get more Z, that's good. So what's nice about this is once we have an expression for your indirect utility, we can figure out how much you'd be willing to pay. Yeah.
So why is it an equality not an equality?
So you'd always vote for this thing if the top line was greater than or equal, perhaps, to the second line. What I want to do here is a little bit different than asking whether you vote for it. What I want to ask instead is what's the maximum you'd be willing to pay for it. And so that's where the equality is coming from. So the trick here is you write out the value of the indirect utility function, both with and without the proposition, then solve for the tau that makes you just indifferent between the proposition passing or not. So for an individual making a discrete choice, you can set up the problem this way and figure out what the willingness to pay if you have an indirect utility function. Okay. I have another topic having to do with elasticities and then angle curves, but we're almost out of time, so I think I'm going to stop here. Let me remind you to do 2 things after class. First, if you're missing assignments, you need to pick up, see Jeff up here at the front of the room. Second, if you are looking for other people to study with, meet outside at the podium just outside the lecture room here. Okay, great. Thanks. Have a good week.